Hi and welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Lorena. First of all, I want to say yesterday I posted my first video and you guys are really nice. So thank you very much for every view, every subscribe, every comment, every like. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So yeah, today I am going to be doing my July reads wrap up. This month so far has been my most read month. I have definitely gotten better at reading over the last kind of few months compared to the start of the year, which was almost non-existent. So the first book that I read in July was Queenie, which is by Candice Carty-Williams. Queenie, I loved it. It was 5 stars for me. Yeah, Queenie was the book that I didn't know that I needed to read. She is a black woman in her 20s from South London. She has Jamaican heritage, and then she's kind of straddling these two worlds between that heritage that she has and also the British kind of white world. She works for a newspaper, and almost all of her colleagues are white. And yeah, her boss doesn't really see her. Sorry, my voice. Her boss doesn't really see her. She tries to write some Black Lives Matter articles, but it doesn't get picked up, And then she has this messy breakup with her boyfriend, who is white. And yes, she just goes through a lot, She is not perfect. She is messy, but she's amazing. You see her develop and grow so much, and I just absolutely loved it. And I read this book very quickly. I read it in a couple of days, and I wish I took my time with it. And I really want there to be a second book, just to see kind of how she continues on her journey, because at the end of the book she got to a really good point. I'm not going to go into details or anything, but I'd love to see that next step on what happens. And I actually loved all the characters in the book, which doesn't happen that often. Normally there's like somebody that you really don't like, but they each had their place. And yeah, she's amazing. I love it. It was a book that was hyped up, and I agree with that hype. Definitely 5 stars. My second book that I read this month was Dominicana, which is by Angie Cruz. And this book is actually shortlisted for the Women's Fiction Award 2020. So again, it was quite a hyped up book. This follows Anna. She's Dominican. She's 15, and she ends up getting proposed to by this man. I think he's 32. So yeah, there's a big age difference there. And her family kind of push her to kind of marry him because he's going to give her the opportunity to go to America, and they see it as a way that eventually all of them can immigrate to America. And I forgot to mention this, but this is set I think it's 1965 when the story takes place. And yeah, so they see it's an opportunity for the whole family. So at the age of 15, she marries this man that she doesn't love, and goes to a country, a foreign land, where she doesn't speak the language. And the book is about that journey. I think is about the first year or so that she's there. The story follows. And it's not what she expected, because her family really bigged up, what's going to be like, all these things she's going to get to do, and that doesn't happen. She doesn't live the life that she thought she was going to lead, until some political unrest starts happening in Dominican Republic, and her husband has to go back to sort out some things. Now, his brother is also in America. It's New York this takes place, and he said, tells his brother, you need to look after her. She's young, she's 15, and then she starts to have a little bit of a life. She goes to English lessons, she kind of explores the city, goes to the beach and things. So she starts living that life that her family and her thought that she was going to have. And yeah, she ends up having to make a decision at some point, which you'll see. I'm not going to spoil it all. I did enjoy the book. I gave it 3 stars. I wasn't like completely hooked, and it might have been that hype built up more for me. But I did enjoy it, so 3 stars for me. And then my third book of the month was Blacklisted, Black British Culture Explored. Oh. And this was a non-fiction book. This is my second non-fiction of the year. I definitely need to read more of them. But as the title suggests, it is blacklisted. It is all the words that you can use to describe a black person. The good, the bad, all of them. And it explores it through British culture, but also on a global scale. Explores the meaning behind the words, and he uses some of his own personal stories in there as well with some of these words, and I think it was really informative for me. Yes, I learned a lot, to find out all the meaning behind these words. So for me, it was a 4 star. My next book I read was The Dilemma by B.A. Paris. And this book is supposed to be a thrilling drama. I did not find it thrilling. I gave it 2 stars. Where to begin? So I didn't like the characters at all, and I'll explain that now. So there's one of the main characters is Livia, and this whole book basically is the day and night of her 40th, and she's having a 40th party. And basically this 40th birthday party she's been planning for like 20 years or something, and it's like she's viewing it as the wedding that she never had. But I understand like she didn't get the wedding she wanted, but I would have probably done like a vow renewal ceremony with my husband to kind of share that moment, because there's 2 people in a marriage. I wouldn't have been like, what, I'm gonna have this massive 40th party, just all about me, and basically spend 20 years of my life planning it. I found her quite a childish character. At one point in the book, it's revealed like when they were going to buy a house, there was 2 houses. There was one, the new build, bigger, had more space, and then there was this older one, I think had a little bit more character, and had this wonderful garden. And she describes it as, she basically reveals, through her thoughts, that she convinced her husband to take the older property, which was smaller, because she really liked the garden and was just like, I could imagine seeing my 40th birthday party here. She obviously didn't tell him that, and yeah, instead of going for the one that had more space, because they had kids, he could have had an office, but no, she had to choose the one with the nice garden for this one party that she's been planning for like half her life. So yeah, I didn't like her. And with this story, like they both have secrets, and basically they're like have this dilemma. Should I tell the other one? The other person's her husband, by the way, that's a secret, forgot to mention that. But like, should I tell them before the party, but then it might get cancelled? Like, this party is such a big deal. Yes, and I actually ended up felt really bad for her husband, because the secret he has, what he has to tell, is really important. Like, it doesn't matter about the party, like, but he's thinking she's been wanting this for so long, I can leave her with a few hours of like happiness, not knowing. And it's just like, no, like, for this week, when it gets like, I already worked out quite early on what was going to happen with that one, because of an event that happened quite early in the book, and he should have told her, but because she made this big deal about her 40th birthday party, he didn't. The secret that she has is about one of their kids. It does take a little while for it to be revealed, but whatever. I wasn't that fussed. I didn't find it thrilling. I wasn't like hooked in, and yeah, it's like an hour by hour play of this whole entire day. And personally, I think it was like, should be like a short story that shouldn't have went on for as long as it did. I have read some reviews since, and some people are like, I really like this author's other books, like the earlier books, they're really good, but this one wasn't. Some people liked it. So I think I'd probably give one of her other books a go. I'm probably doing more research this time. And then the last book that I read is right here. Just finished it today, and that is My Brilliant Friend, and that's by Elena Ferrante. It's the first of a series of 4 books in the Napolitana novels that she's written. I had seen the TV series, the adaptation of this book, which is the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet, but I'm going to read the series before I do. So yes, this basically the book, there's 2 main characters you have. You have Elena, who gets called Lenu, and she is the narrator of the story, and there's Lila, who is her friend, like her best friend basically. And the opening of this book is actually, it opens up in 2012, they're in their 60s. Lenu gets a call from the son of Lila, who's went missing, and basically he checks everything and there's literally not a single trace of her left. She's cut out her face, out of pictures and everything. And Lenu's just like, this is just exactly like Lila, because she said years ago that she would want to disappear without leaving a trace. So she sits down to write this story, and I think it's her way of being like, you're not going to leave this world without leaving a single trace of yourself. So this first book covers their childhood, which is quite a small part actually of it, and then their adolescence. So it covers how they were friends. You see like this whole world they're in. So it's set in Naples, but it's a neighbourhood of Naples, and you really get this small town feel. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone's like really close. Like it's really close knit community. It is set in the 50s. This part anyway. And yes, they're poor. Like the whole neighbourhood in general is poor, with a few exceptions. So money is a theme throughout this, and you see how it always dominates their world basically. And also education is a part of it as well. So at the time when this is written, only up until the end of primary school they have to have an education, and only the smartest ones get to take the exam to go on to middle school. If you do well in middle school, you go to high school, etc, etc, okay? Now, they're both really clever, except Lila is got this natural talent. There's one day they're in the classroom, I think they're like 6 years old or something, and the teacher's called her mum into the school, and basically you end up discovering that Lila has actually taught herself to read and write, because her family doesn't know how to read or write, and she somehow managed to teach herself, so she's extremely clever. And Lenu's also clever. She just doesn't have that natural ability that Lila has. So education is a big theme throughout, and Lenu ends up having the opportunity to go into study because it costs money, and her family end up, putting that towards her final way, whereas Lila's family doesn't, and she is forced to stop her education. So it's like you start to see them diverge a little bit, Lenu has the chance to kind of leave this world that they're stuck in, this neighbourhood. She has the chance to escape it through her education. I really enjoyed the story. Like I said, I'm planning to read all 4. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to kind of give anything away. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go and read the rest. But yeah, for me, it got a 4-star. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how their friendship develops and grows and continues throughout their lives. They're brilliant characters. Lila is, she's almost of not her time, because, if she was born at a different time, she would have led a much different life. You can tell she would have been brilliant, and Lenu as well, she would have, I think, well, I don't know what becomes of them, but you can tell already that their lives are starting to go a little bit like this. Yeah, I don't want to say too much more, but yes, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I read 5 books this month, which, like I said, is the most I read this year in a month so far. I'm planning to keep that going. And actually, with this book, my goal at the start of the year was 12 books, which was also my goal last year, except I only read 2 books. Yeah, I know. And because I just had this massive reading slump, so this year I was like, I'll do 12 again. A book a month is fine, and this was the number 12. So I need to reevaluate my goal. I think I'm going to do 32. I'm going to up it to 32. So that means for the next 4 months, I need to read on average 5 books a month and see how well I get on with that. That's my aim at least. But yeah, so that is July all wrapped up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comments below and what your opinions are. And yeah, my next video will be like I'm going to do a book haul and then like an August TBR. And yes, but yeah, thank you all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna just I'll put some information on where you can follow me. And yes, again, thank you. I appreciate every like, view, comment, subscribe. You guys are like really amazing, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy being part of this booktube community. So thank you, and until next time, bye.